All right, guys, it's Copper Cutlass, and just a little like Sunday update. So we were at the machine shop yesterday. We got our ARP rod bolts and the rods. Everything's been resized on point. We ended up cutting half of the domes off of the pistons because I bought domed Speed Pro pistons, like the factory TRW type. The Speed Pros are pretty much the TRWs. So, but we were going to have too much compression. And again, keep in mind that we're going to be using this engine in the Pontiac to tow and do all that stuff. So I got a pretty decent cam with a 218, 224 duration, but I don't want to have like excessive cylinder pressure, especially if we tow and the load on the engine goes up, that creates heat. And that's going to, if we were on the higher end of with iron heads, the possibility for detonation is there. And really, we're trying to drive this car on mule piss. And really, I think the goals are going to be really easy. I think I want this engine to be somewhere around like 415, 425-ish horsepower, just a ton of torque. And, the original, I think not the passenger car, but like one notch above it was the 390 horse 427 that used a much smaller cam, iron intake, and we got cylinder head work we're doing. We're unshrouding the valves and all that stuff, and then it's going to have headers, hydraulic roller cam, just a lot of little goodies, a lot of little things that really just kind of you're adding a modern touch to an older engine, and that's just power to be made, especially when it comes to camshafts. In today's world, making like 1 horsepower per cubic inch is pretty easy. Now, the only reason why I kind of am setting my limits just a hair lower than what I guess you would expect if we can make out 1 horsepower per cubic inch is the fact that we're using the closed chamber 063 heads, the oval ports, which they're not horrible. I actually went on Yellow Bullet, and a bunch of guys are like, you can easily make 550 with those heads with minimal work. So really, I think we're going to be all right. I want to wish my wife a very happy birthday. Today is actually her birthday. I came out here because the temperature's plummeted out here fairly fast. So while the garage was still at a decent ambient temperature, I had to drain the water out of this engine because that still hasn't been picked up and or delivered and or desired to be taken ownership. It's been paid for. It's just sitting here at this point, which is fine. But I do want to make space because this is going to be like another one of those projects that I kind of really want to do. I want to fire this thing up, take full vitals of it, and then break it down. And this is going to be the engine that I take start to finish completely on my own at the machine shop. This is going to be my solo project there. I've been running various machines. It's going to take a little bit of time, but this engine is almost sacrificial, and it's very clean. But for the sake of science, I actually want to get it running, fired up, and just make sure everything's good on it. And then we dive into it and see how it runs, reflects what, et cetera, et cetera. This is still going to be a thing, but no rush. Now, something that's been in the back burner, some of you guys may or may not know, but this is a 347 stroker. I assembled this engine for a friend of mine. He's had this engine for a while. I'm going to buy and cover all of the odds and ends for it. I've been talking about it, but now is the time. Now is the time to do it because really the next couple of months is going to be downtime. So in the next month, my idea is to buy all the little odds and ends. I need a thermostat housing, valve covers. I need rocker arms, push rods. There's a lot of little things, nothing overly expensive, but it needs to happen, and I need to get it done, and I need to fire it up because this thing's like a pretty wicked little 347. My buddy was building a pre-runner truck, and he kind of ran out of steam, got back into motorcycles, and he's like, hey man, just put this thing together for me and whatever. And I've had it here for a while, and it's time to make some space and get it to him so he can sell it, and it's be money for him and his family. Obviously, it's just been sitting here, and it's all wrapped up, packaged nicely and everything. But I got to get it running. That's the main thing. And I have everything pretty much, just like little odds and ends. But that's going to be a thing to do as well, is get that going. But I figured I'd update you guys. You know, we're making progress. We're just pretty much with the 427. I wish I could do a lot more sharing, but my focus is to run the machines. But right now, pretty much, we're at the point of getting things on the balancer, balancing machine. We got to balance the rotating assembly. We get our final weights after cutting the domes off at the pistons, and you know, all that good stuff. We got cam bearings installed, all the block prep work, deburring, all that stuff is done. We painted all the oil surfaces with Gliptol. Just a lot of. I'm learning a lot of things as I'm working. And I've built many engines, but working with somebody who did it for so long, you learn a lot of little things. And I am learning that there is a lot more to be learned. I've kind of just crash coursed it, and I've been able to luckily catch all of my mistakes. But working with somebody who wants to have no mistakes, that's a whole different ballgame. That's kind of what we're doing here. We're building a sound engine that's going to be planned out, and he's not letting me take the easy way out. Everything I've done has been the hard way, from sizing the rods to cutting the caps to, you know, cutting the domes off the pistons. You know, he's like, there's a faster way to do all this, but you're going to have to do it the long way first to understand it. And I'm very lucky to have that opportunity. I'm certainly not taking it for granted, because he's got a project of his own that he wants me to help him wrap up. And the goal is to get that done before we really start working on the Pontiac. And there's a big possibility that I might just race this next year and cage this car over the summer, because really I've been contemplating it a lot and talking about it, and it just doesn't get done, because working out here in the winter kind of sucks. Not necessarily that our space is limited, but I need some resources, like a second set of hands, and it's harder in the winter to get somebody their ass out here and help me. But it would be it would probably take us about a month. You know, I got to take the body off the frame and box a couple of areas, and really there is going to be some work involved. I want to do it right, and that's why I kind of want to try to find a frame beforehand and get all the framework, and then just slide the frame under it. You know, have everything on pedestals and the frame boxed, ready to go, and then just burn in a cage. And we're just going to burn in a simple cage. I don't need anything that's like real nice fitting. It just needs to work. I don't have an interior. So there's a lot of things going on that I could do. And it really comes down to what I get done over the winter. And like every winter we get something done. Last winter, we didn't really do much. I helped my buddy Tim a lot. And, you know, this winter he's getting his car ready for our race season, because we're going to have like almost 2 months of racing before we do our drag and drive. So, you know, and if his stuff fails, we can always take one of my cars. So it's kind of good. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I hope you guys had a great holiday. So share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Scott Cutlass, and we'll see you guys around.